welcome to our discussion. Today I'm joined again by Dr. Eric Thompson, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and a partner in an executive networking organization who's wrestled with some things that really did challenge his faith, and one of those was old earth, young earth issues, and he came down on the old earth side. Today we're going to explore what are some of the ways that being an old earth creationist has strengthened his faith in God. Eric, it's good to have you again today.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
You know, we spent some time talking about your struggles with old earth, young earth. I know you went through a 9-month journey on a question from your son, and you came down that old earth creationism really seems to fit the best. What I want to kind of talk about in this segment is how has that impacted your faith moving forward from that?
You know, probably the biggest area that it's impacted my faith is how I look at science. Instead of looking at science as an adversary, I'm looking at science as an advocate. I also look at science as the interpretation of general revelation. So we all interpret things a certain way. We can make mistakes on that, but science is actually revealing God more and more in my life today than it ever has before.
So kind of practically flesh out some of those things. How has creation revealed God in a way that's, or from science that has helped you?
So for example, when we go on vacation, we go on camping vacations, myself and my family. We'll go
that's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's something we look forward to all the time,
I agree.
every year. We'll go into a national park, and now we just can't wait to get to that national park to study varied geologic formations, to study the different bird species, to study all creation around us, and to see God's glory in that, as opposed to always kind of worried about what we're going to read, about what we find from a science perspective. It's just opened up avenues in terms of discussions in our family about how God is just this amazing God in terms of his creation, and how inside his creation, he's revealing design, he's revealing details to us to show that signature of him that we just wouldn't have seen had we been more focused on and being, say, more defensive in trying to push back from say, written scientific descriptions of what we're seeing.
Yeah, I want to explore that a little bit, because I agree very much with you. I mean, I love going to national parks, and just as I look at, what are the processes and how did this work? It's just fascinating, and I really do walk away as like, wow, look at this creation God's given us to live in. But your comment about going in with an excitement as opposed to kind of a defensive nature, I think that seems to be a deeper principle as a Christian, that I don't know that as Christians we're supposed to be defensive. We're supposed to be prepared,
right?
But so how just in the mindset, how have you noticed that difference, and what has that done?
Well, if I back up for just a minute, when I first explored the issue of the age of the earth, whether it's old or new, I was a little bit apprehensive about what I was going to find, and because it was dealing with a core doubt I had about the Word of God, to be honest with you. And what I learned through that process is, if you pursue your doubts and really dig into your doubts and put them against the Word of God, put them against, and will the Bible stand up against that? And once you do that and you find that it does, it increases your confidence. So then you come to the next area of doubt. Instead of shying away from it, dive into it. So creating this kind of a cycle of doubt, research, and it every time it just ends up building my faith. That's what I want to transfer to our kids, is that, doubts are not bad. In fact, we should be talking about our doubts, but then work through those doubts. Don't ignore those doubts. Don't become defensive about those doubts. But the Word of God will stand. The Word of God is going to stand. The Word of God is truth, and it can stand anything we can throw against it.
I think that is, to me, a very profound truth. And ultimately, in my wrestling with doubts, that was a transformational realization that if God is who he says he is, we're never going to find something that proves his Bible wrong or proves his creation wrong. And so that to me was a very freeing thing. How have your kids interacted with that? Have you noticed them seeing more of God's glory revealed in creation, or has this just been kind of a personal thing?
Oh, absolutely. Lately, my youngest is actually carrying around a book in his middle school called Darwin's Doubt, that is garnering some interesting conversation within the school.
I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly, because doubt is actually a good thing, and I think we ought to explore that and be prepared to have our beliefs revised, because we can have beliefs, but there's only one truth out there. And so for pursuing the truth, whether at whatever age we are, that's good science as well as good theology.